Welcome in, everyone, to the Hoops Frenzy podcast. I'm Dean Holzwarth, joined by my good friend Andy McDonald. And Andy, it's officially March Madness now. It's been 2 weeks since we've been on. Now we're into March.
We don't have to keep wearing people out with the February Madness joke anymore, do we?
No. We are into March Madness. You experienced it a little bit yesterday, going to the Michigan State game.
Yeah, if you want to call it that. It was Michigan State had that one from start to finish. I think just two teams, like I kind of wrote about, two teams just going in two completely different directions right now.
Agreed.
I was a great environment. Credit to Michigan State. That shows how well their basketball program is and how much it means to the Spartan Nation, because they already had the Big Ten wrapped up, and I understand they're playing Michigan, but it's like it was the end of spring break for them, and they still filled the lower bowl of the zone, and the whole place was sold out. So it says a lot, because the game Michigan earlier in the week, it wasn't like that when they played against Maryland. So right now, I think Dusty's gonna have to prove that that contract they gave him was worth it. I think his toughest coaching job he's going to have to do to get this team back to where they were earlier in the season. Less turnovers, rebounding, all that stuff. That's Michigan's thing. And I think for Michigan State, you just got to keep going on the run you're going on right now. They definitely want that 1 seed.
Yep.
And this is probably time as those, if not his best coaching job, it's very close to it with the team that he has. So it's been a lot of fun to watch. It was awesome seeing all the senior day stuff. Obviously, the little tussle at half court was a whole thing, but we won't get into that. That's another topic, but
Michigan just looks out of sync right now. And people talked a lot about their guard play. They didn't think it was kind of, early on, it looked pretty good, but lately, it's just been kind of Golden and Danny Wolf, and the guards haven't been able to do much. Like you said, turn the ball over, not shooting the ball great right now. So Michigan's got to find answers quickly going into the Big Ten tournament.
They just looked at Vlad Golden every single time for points, and it's not going to do the job. Danny had a better second half yesterday. They finally hit a couple three, but that's the other difference. Michigan in the start of the season, for the first I think it's 20 games, they were number 18 in the country at 3-point shooting.
Yep.
Now they're lower than 300. In the last 9 games, they went 3 of 24.
Haven't shot the ball well.
They went 3 of 24 yesterday from deep. They haven't stopped turning the ball over and being bad on the defensive glass the entire season. It's costing them right now big time. And Michigan State's the complete opposite. They were bad 3-point shooting all year. Right now they're heating up from 3. So and for them, it's not like they're not blowing the doors off. They shot 38% from 3 yesterday. But if they can do that with how good they do everything else, they're going to make a long run in March.
Agree.
For sure.
Definitely agree. It'll be interesting to see how the Big Ten tournament plays out, and then obviously we go into the NCAA tournament next week.
No doubt.
So, all right, hey, let's talk high school. We are into the quarterfinals now. I love the quarterfinal round, Andy, because this is the game that gets you to Breslin.
Yeah, for sure.
The one game that everybody, when you get to this point in the tournament that you win this game, you go into Breslin, and it's exciting for all the teams that are competing tomorrow night.
No doubt, yeah, it really is. It's kind of like the Final Four, when teams make it in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
it feels like if you get to the Final Four, it's almost like you got to the national championship. I know it's not the exact same thing, but because it's a tournament of 64 teams, now 68 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
if you make it that far and make it to the Final Four, you feel. That's why people hang banners of Final Fours.
Exactly,
it's the same as that kind of thing. Obviously you don't probably really hang. I don't know if you hang banners for semifinals or not, but it probably depends on your school. But either way, in high school, if you make it that far and you get to the Breslin Center and get to play on a stage like that, it's the same kind of concept. It's a great reward for going that far in the tournament.
100%. And I've coached there twice. I got to coach there with Granville back in 2005 with Alyssa DeHaan when we made it to the state semis, and obviously last year with Tri-Unity. So it's a lot of fun to coach there and kind of be in that atmosphere and environment. So these teams are looking to get there.
For sure.
Byron Center have not won. They won a regional for the first time since 1986.
Wow.
By beating Hudsonville last week to earn a game against Flint Carmen Ainsworth.
Yeah, I can speak on that because I wasn't at the Byron Center Hudsonville game, but I was at the Northview Byron Center game, and I think, Hudsonville, that gym obviously is just unbelievable. I think everybody knows that now. People have made jokes. It's like the University of Hudsonville, everything else. It's unbelievably nice.
Yep.
That game that I covered against Northview, I think a lot of people know that Northview has a lot of talent too, and I think a lot of people expected Northview to win that game. But they've had close games all season. But that gym was as close to a college setting as you're gonna ever get, I feel like, at a high school game. It was loud. Every play was crazy. It came down to the final 2 possessions, so it was just everybody was so into it. I don't know if I've ever experienced anything like I experienced that game. So credit to those fan bases for coming out the way that they did and supporting that, because that was unbelievable atmosphere. But yeah, Byron Center deserves to be talked about because
100%.
wow, were they impressive. They have like 4 or 5 guys that can do it.
Yeah, well, you look at Kean Hinkle, you know, obviously great three-point shooter.
He had 26 in the game that I covered, and he hit like 5 threes in a row. It was insane. He had one where he was on a fast break, and it was like the cap off like a 9-0 run that kind of started to give them the lead from Northview, which Northview came back and made it a 2-point game. But yeah, he sunk a 3 in transition, like stopped and shot the 3. I'm like, that takes something to pull up from there on 100%. A fast break and take that shot. So
Kean's got so much confidence this year. You know, his game has grown so much this year. He's become a leader and obviously a scoring threat and three-point shooter, a little lefty. Yeah, I really like the way that Kean Hinkle plays. Isaac Lee, you know, same kind of thing. You know, very athletic. You know, plays downhill, gets to the basket, and then Cam Carroll can kind of do it inside and outside.
He's the one. Cam Carroll's the one who started that run. He had a big dunk that got their crowd really into it. And then Hinkle took over the threes from there. But Isaac, he's the one that had the game-winning shot, and it was very, very fitting for that game just because so many people were scoring for both teams, and he had a really tough night. He missed 2 layups that he definitely would have told you he should have made on fast breaks. One of them, he was wide open, like right over the lip, just completely fell out, and he heard it from the Northview student section, that's for sure. But late in the game, there was I think it was 27 seconds left, and obviously in high school, you can dribble out the clock. I mean, it started like a minute. They were kind of passing around or whatever, and he saw enough of a lane and decided he was going to take it, and he hit an and one and put him up by 4, and that was pretty much the end of the game. So I give him a lot of credit for taking that shot in that moment, and then obviously getting by Hudsonville on their home floor.
Exactly.
You have to get back that energy 2 nights later that you just had to give everything you had to beat a team like Northview, and you find a way to win. Unbelievable. I wouldn't count them out against anybody right now.
No, and obviously Flint Carmen Ainsworth had the comeback against Rockford. You know, Rockford had the great win against Muskegon. They go to regionals. You know, up 1 late. Carmen Ainsworth gets a steal, gets an and one, and you know they knock them off in overtime. And they sent the game to overtime with a 3-pointer.
Yeah, no, for sure, of course, right?
You know,
like it was crazy how that game kind of went for Rockford after the way that they ended against Muskegon.
100%.
They got. I mean, once it went to overtime, it's like tough to beat a team like that. But I think Flint Cameron Ainsworth has also been a team that's been surprising people for the most part. I talked to a couple people yesterday from that area that were covering the Michigan State game, and they said that they weren't the team that everybody expected to kind of get this far, but they found a way to do it. So. I think that's kind of the same kind of story for Byron Center. I don't think a lot of people would have picked them over Hudsonville or Northview. No, to be honest, they're a team that can compete with them. Yeah, I don't think anybody thought they were going to get blown out in any of those games. I just think that's somebody thought just because Hudsonville is at home and then Northview has probably the most D1 talent in their team. Yeah, I think people probably would have made those picks, and Byron Center has definitely been a great surprise to come out of there. Yeah,
what a great last few months. You know, with the Byron Center football team make it to the state finals, and now we have the boys basketball team in the quarterfinals. So great sports season so far for Byron Center.
Absolutely. I mean, again, we've talked about them time and time again. Their sports are just on the up and up right now at every level. Obviously, they had a tough ending in hockey, but they've been able to really compete in the last few years at almost a lot of the major sports. So
yeah, and like you said, the support from the community. You know, we know how they showed up and showed out for football, and it's the same thing for basketball.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, seriously, like I said. I mean, I'm not trying to hype anything up. I'm not feeding you anything. That was a lot. And I listened to...
I wouldn't think you would.
Jason Hutton and Brett Bakita. I listened to them on the way to the... I think it was the day before they played Hudsonville. They had their coach on the pregame show, and they were talking about the crowd. I think they said it was over 4,000 people.
Really?
And I believe it, 100%. Like, that place all the way around the track had people, back... You couldn't even get to the concession stand. It was ridiculous.
That is crazy.
I don't know how many it seats, but it was full. There wasn't any open. Wow. It was crazy. Wow. So.
Well, and lastly, that game did get moved to DeWitt just to kind of be a central location. It's supposed to be at Caledonia, so which makes sense for them to move. But yeah, Byron Center is going to actually obviously make that drive and fill that place. Yep. Hey, Division II is going to be played at Hamilton, Grandpa's Catholic Central, with a 20-point win or a 30-point win over Sparta. Yeah, you said you were there for that.
I was at that game.
And then Marshall beat Holland Christian. 61-46. Dean has bad eyes.
Yeah, 61-46 is correct.
And so Marshall Catholic Central with a state semifinal appearance on the line.
Yeah, no, for sure. Catholic Central's had a really weird year. I think they all would tell you that. It's been a lot of games where they have really big leads, and they've let a lot of them go away. Yep. They lost a few early that maybe they're not used to losing in previous years. Obviously, Chris Pearl's a new coach there. So that's a little bit different. But in his first year, to be able to even get to this point, that says a lot about their program, where they're at. They still have a lot of talent coming through there, and they're a lot of fun to watch. Sparta really never was in the game either. Like, they won that game outright. They pretty much, I mean, first quarter, I think they were only down by 6. But after that, Catholic Central just goes in these runs where they get it by a lot of points. I think if you were to ask Chris, he probably would tell you that he wants them to do a better job of holding larger leads, because they tend to allow like runs that come back against them, and they have to seem to survive a lot of games, and that will probably hurt them down the stretch if they do something like that. So that's probably their biggest thing to work on. But they've been impressive to me this tournament to be able to get by some of the teams they've got by, and now it's really prove it time with some of the talent they have in that team.
I think beating South Christian and ending Carson Vista's career was a good confidence boost for Catholic Central, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I think with the way that it ended the last time they played them. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, so
Carson Vista, I think I had a chance to tie that one.
I did. I saw the highlight of that.
Like, obviously, we've talked about Carson a lot on this show, or on both the shows, whatever. Yep. He's had some. That kid's going to be nails when he goes to college, because he's had a couple tough endings at the high school level for that kind of stuff. So it's what builds you and makes you better. But obviously, South Christian was a pretty good basketball team too.
Yeah. Hey, we did want to mention back to Division I, Trey McKinney. No surprise here, Mr. Basketball.
No surprise at all.
In the state of Michigan. So, no surprise at all. Going to Michigan next year.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to see him play this year at East Kent, but he had something going on with his wrist.
Yeah.
But, he's anybody that usually gets a scholarship to one of those two schools here is usually a pretty good candidate. They're going to be there at the end of the year. So
Lake St. Mary's is going to be a team that's probably going to get back to the state finals.
Yeah, for sure. So, looking forward to being down there and hopefully getting to see them play.
All right, Division III, Schoolcraft. We played Schoolcraft. Tri-Uni did early in the season, and we actually had a really good win against them. But that's a talented group. But I'll tell you what, Pewamo, Westphalia beat a really good North Muskegon team to win their regional last week. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be played at Kalamazoo Lloyd Norks. Schoolcraft destroyed Kalamazoo Christian by 30, and they're playing some good basketball, right? Well, both the regional games. They beat Bridgman 54-18, and they beat Kalamazoo Christian by 30. So they didn't have much of a competition in regionals, but they're going to get one.
Since January 4th, since January 4th, Pewamo, Westphalia has only lost one game. So, and that was to Hudsonville by a point. So that's
going to be a good matchup.
It's definitely going to be a good matchup. I'm excited about it. It should be a good one. Schoolcraft's obviously had a pretty good season too. But yeah, I mean, if you're taking Hudsonville, a team that was very close to making it to this point too, down to a 1-point game. Especially when you're in Division III. Obviously, some people may not expect you to, compete with some of the higher divisions, I guess, but they prove that they can. So Pewamo, Westphalia is a pretty good team, and that's going to be a good test for Schoolcraft. I haven't got the chance to see them play much this year, so if they make it to the Breslin, I'll be covering them for probably both those games. So
Schoolcraft's super balanced. They have some really good shooters. They have a good post guy in the middle. I forget his name, but I really like what Schoolcraft does. Obviously, last few years now they've been really good. So, it'd be interesting if they can see if they can get past Pewamo, Westphalia and get into that state semifinals.
Yeah, going 20-6 on the year is pretty impressive. They're also a team. I mean, they've only had a couple losses. Actually, it looks like one of them was to you guys, right?
Yes. Yeah, we played really well again. I think we held them to 37 points that game. Like, that was a really good game for us.
For sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I did cover that game.
You did.
I was there. Quarter. Yeah, I was. Yeah. And that was the intensity in that gym was pretty good that night.
Yes.
I remember. So that was definitely a good one. So I take it back, Schoolcraft. I have seen you guys play. So definitely, I expect a lot of defense.
Yes.
So.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm sporting my Tri-Unity blue today.
I thought we weren't going to talk about them.
I know we weren't going to talk about them. Coach Kaler's last year, our regional final, like, we were up 18 at the half, and I was like, all right, we're in really good shape here. But I got to give props to the Kalamazoo Phoenix team. Like, Tri-Uni has knocked them out of the state tournament now, I think, 4 years in a row.
Wow.
All right. So, like, we've kind of had their number. But they had a very athletic, very well coached. They pressed us the whole game, trapped us, and they made a run. I think it was a 12-0 run. We were up 18 at the half. They came back to cut to 1 early in the fourth. And the Tri-Uni community was sweating a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
They had all the momentum, but we kind of find ways, to get some key baskets, get some stops, and obviously able to win that game by 10. But
and that's what it feels like is instilled within your guys' team. Just from an outsider perspective, it just seems like anytime the game gets close, I'm going to be probably betting on you guys to win it just because it seems like those kids like want it a lot. And you can tell just from like different teams, like when some want it more than others, and they know what they're playing for with it being Marks last year and everything.
Yeah.
I fully expect them to go out there Tuesday and give it everything they have. And if it does get close, I don't expect you guys' team to sweat. Like maybe, I mean, obviously you get nervous when you give up that big of a run, but
exactly.
I don't think that they'll break. I think what you're talking about right now against Phoenix, that's a good amount of proof.
Yeah, and I think, we haven't faced a lot of adversity here in the last couple of weeks. Like we've won 19 games in a row, and we haven't had a lot of adversity. So I think that was good for our kids to kind of feel that. We have 8 seniors on this team, led by Joey Mellon, our 6'7" center, Keaton Blanker, Noah Silverton. So those are kind of our big 3 as far as our seniors goes. But we have a lot of balance, a lot of depth, and those seniors don't want to lose.
Yeah, no, for sure.
My biggest thing is they don't want to lose for coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like I think it's the added fuel.
They want to get coach to the Breslin one last time, and try to win our state championship. And that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
And I think they don't want to let him down. And so they're kind of playing for each other, obviously playing together, playing for him. And, I think this team is just really locked in right now. And
I mean, every game in the playoffs by double digits is pretty impressive. I don't think there's really much less you can say about you guys than that. That says a lot. And obviously, if you blow a 21-point lead against a team like Phoenix and still win by 10, again, that says a lot. Because when it comes down to that timeout that gets taken, and the game's kind of getting away from you in basketball, that's when you kind of see what team has the stones. Like if they can really find a way to get out of their own way of blowing a lead and finish off the game. So, yeah, you guys have been nothing but impressive. It's a lot of fun to watch, and again, I expect more defense from you guys. Like if anybody's going to stop you guys, it's probably going to take them playing their best game on defense that they have all season. So
and that's where we kind of hang our hats on. And I tell you what, we played Adrian Lenaway Christian at a tournament down at Schoolcraft in early January. Or end of December, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we won by 12, but I think that score was a little deceiving. They actually played us really tight. Their best player fouled out with like 4 minutes left. So it's a team with a couple really good seniors on it. And I think they're really going to give us a challenge.
For sure.
So hopefully we're up to it.
I'm hoping you guys are too, Dean. I mean, you're one of the motivators, right? Like that's.
Hey, that's what I do. Like my job on the bench is just to motivate these kids.
I'm looking forward to some more fist pumps coming off the
100%.
off the bench. Yeah,
I'll
be there. I'll be there. So
yes, I'm so happy that you're making
Jack
that
just
trip
assigned
down.
me that game right now. So
Richland Gull Lake,
Tri-Unit Community. I'm coming for you.
7 o'clock. I don't think we've lost when Annie's been there, so we should be good.
Oh, it's good. Good to hear. I mean, you guys haven't lost many games, so.
No, 2 games all year.
Yeah.
And one was to your alma mater, West Catholic.
Oh, gosh. Well, one of my alma maters, but yeah.
Well, one of yeah.
Transferred from them. They
Yes.
probably wouldn't take me as one of their own anymore, but I like a lot of the people in the West Catholic community.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you have regionals for girls on your? Let me get that real quick.
No, I can get it up. Though,
So we
for
have.
Sure.
This will be going. This will be put it on Wood TV website and YouTube tomorrow morning. So we have girls basketball regional semis tonight and some really good matchups. We really won't talk a lot about them, obviously, because this is going to be airing tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's look.
No, I was able to cover some of the. I've covered some of the district games.
Yeah, let's look real quick at the regionals, starting in Division 1.
Yeah, I've got the bracket.
You got the brackets.
Now.
I got the brackets too.
It's obviously a lot more teams to look through when it's only at the start of regionals. So, trying to see who we still have alive here in Division 1.
Yep, and Rockford makes the trip up to. I mean, Rockford's obviously the favorite to kind of get back.
I think Rockford's going to get back
to the state finals.
Yeah, they're not going to have much of a problem, I don't think.
Where is Rockford?
They're down there playing Saginaw Heritage, and then Hudsonville plays Grand Haven, which
thank you.
That should be
Hudsonville Grand Haven. Yes,
that should be a pretty good game.
Should be a really good game.
I think a lot of people expect that one to be one that goes down to the wire, and then also Forest Hills Northern plays against East Kentwood. that should be another really good game. Forest Hills Northern's a team that a lot of people.
I like Forest Hills Northern.
I don't think they're on a lot of people's radar yet, but people are going to find out more about them if they make it deeper into this tournament. Like I said, they got a couple bigs that are really, really good in that
Conference
team.
champs.
Yeah.
And
East Campbell may not have had their best, season, but they're still here in regionals alive right now. So
yep, they beat Caledonia to win that district title.
Yep. So that was a good game. I think one of our other reporters was at it and said it was a pretty close one. So, I expected to. Those two games are one I expect to be good. I don't know much about Saginaw Heritage, but I do know that Rockford's really good. So I don't think they're going to have much of a problem in that game. Yeah, it's going to be hard for anybody to get by Rockford. If you do, then you deserve all the praise from us the next time we talk about anything.
Yep. And Andy, we could have an OK Red quarterfinal because if Rockford gets through, which we kind of expect them to do, and
yes.
let's say Grand Haven gets through, all OK Red.
Yeah, for sure.
Quarterfinal.
That says a lot about that conference there.
Well, regardless, it's going to be a all West Michigan.
Yeah. For sure.
Quarterfinal. Whoever
yeah, no doubt. You can't. Yep. No matter what, it'll be that. So.
Yep. Division 2 is super intriguing to me. I will be out at West Catholic tonight for Spring Lake and Grant, and then Catholic Central West Catholic. The rivalry between those two schools.
Oh, they play tonight.
They play tonight.
Wow, that's gonna be a good one for
tonight,
sure.
7:00.
Yeah, Catholic Central is who I covered on Friday against Grand Rapids Christian, and they looked really good. They're definitely an improved team this year. They got a couple girls that can really shoot it, but West Catholic's the power, and they've been really, really tough to beat time and time again. They got girls going Division I on there, so they have some talent, and it'll definitely be a good game. I think earlier in the year they played at Cornerstone, and West Catholic kind of wiped the floor with them. So we'll see.
They did.
We'll see how it goes for Catholic Central this time around. But teams usually get better as the season goes along. I expect Catholic Central to make this a better game tonight, at least. And I think they could win it if they push all the right buttons. But West Catholic's a tough team to beat.
Anything can happen. And I think you and I talked about this 2 weeks ago, where we're looking. South Christian won a district title. Coach Erica Brown with a district title. But we're looking at a quarterfinal there between South Christian and West Catholic.
Yeah, that'd be another really good game.
That would be the third meeting between the two teams. And you and I said that, has the potential to be a really, really good game.
No, for sure, absolutely. I think that's the one that you'd be circling going forward. South Christian's had a really good season too, and I just like, again, both those programs, they haven't instilled in them to win, and that's all they really care about. So they both have a couple of great senior leaders. So Alicia Dykstra has just been phenomenal every time I've covered her for West Catholic.
They have some good young talent too.
Yeah,
right?
They do. No, West Catholics completely changed their program from when I was younger. We were never talking about West Catholic girls basketball, but now, they've really, really turned things around there. They've had a bunch of athletes come through there. Obviously, Abby Kimball's probably the highlight playing at Michigan State right now. But Cadence Dykstra's at Toledo. They have some really, really good players that have come off of those teams. So, I expect them to make another run, and if I had to pick, I would pick them again, because it's one of those things where it's like, until you're proven wrong, you're going to keep picking that team. So, we'll see if somebody can do that this year.
Yep. And I think the only really local team to watch for Division III would be Calvin Christian. They were able to win a district title last week. They play Kent City tonight. Actually, they host regionals tonight, and they play Kent City. And the other bracket is Palmer, Westphalia. We just talked about the boys against Saugatuck. So that's kind of your key Division III regional from around here. And Division IV, I don't think we have.
Zion Christian's
Zion
in there.
Christian beat Tri-Unity. The girls, my daughter. Yeah, that was a tough game last Friday.
Yep.
But
I haven't covered Zion Christian yet this year, so I don't know much about them. But you it sounds like you've at least watched them. Or
yes, they're aggressive. They kind of really put pressure on you. They have a couple good scores. They rebound the ball well. It was a 1-point game with about a minute and a half left. We came back from a 7-point deficit and had a turnover. They converted, made a steal out of it. We missed a 3 to tie, and they won by 5. So, very competitive game. Zion Christian has a nice, really good program
for sure
over there. So, all right. Well, I think that's it.
I think that is it.
That is it.
So, what days are you going to the Breslin? Do you know the days this weekend?
Well, hopefully, I'm going Thursday and Saturday.
Thursday and Saturday. Okay, for sure. Is that would that be for us, or would that be for?
That would be for Tri-Unity.
Okay. Oh yeah. Obviously, for Tri-Unity. Yeah.
That's when I'll be. Yes.
And then Saturday, you want to just be there to. Oh well, yeah. If you guys are there for that too, so you don't want to stick around and work after
that potential 10 a.m. game. I mean, I would. Hopefully we get some teams there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. I expect to at least be a couple that'll make it. I mean, no doubt a couple that'll make it to Thursday. So,
Yeah.
or Thursday and Friday.
And I think we'll be back next week. I'm thinking, maybe Wednesday?
Yeah, no, we probably should do another one just to kind of wrap things up.
Wednesday
but
to
we'll
talk
be able
about
to
the boys
finals
championships.
and then preview the girls.
Preview the girls.
And do one more. But
Yeah.
I know we've also had talks about doing other stuff in the future, just so you guys are aware. We were thinking about maybe doing some prospect stuff with like even the Whitecaps and stuff over the summer from time to time, or the Griffins will be finishing up their season. They've had a tough go of it right now, but they obviously people are always interested in the Red Wings talent coming up. So maybe we'll talk about some of that stuff in the future to kind of keep this going, but it'll obviously be less of a pace after high school ends. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, if you guys need autographs, they'll be there this weekend. So
there you go.
Well, we hope. But
yeah. Okay. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. Until next week. Talk to you later. Bye.